I want to talk to you today about one-to-ones, which is exactly how you can build those relationships. So you need to have a roster of one-to-ones with everyone in the group. It's actually quite good to have them set up across a number of weeks in a row so that you don't forget and come to the meeting and realize that you actually haven't had any one-to-ones that week. The 60 seconds is a great intro for people in the room to show little tidbits about your business. The 10-minute presentation is even better. It gives more in-depth about what it is you do. But these are very one-sided. You're talking at the room and they're not talking back. And there's not really a whole lot of insight about you that you can get from that. The one-to-one is more of a conversation. Nothing opens up your business more and nothing opens up you personally more to someone more than those one-to-ones. BNI like to illustrate this with a little story they have about a writer that was doing a book on Van Gogh. And so instead of just researching everything that he could find online and researching other books and collating all of that information, he actually contacted every person that was still alive that had knew the person personally and got stories from them. In doing this, he discovered that the artist was once in love with his landlady's daughter, Eugene. And he visited Eugene's great-granddaughter, who's still alive and who was elderly herself. And in talking to her, she said, "Oh, I've got this box of trinkets in the attic if you want to have a look at them." So he went and had a look at this box of trinkets in the attic and found a painting that he'd done of Eugene years and years earlier. And that wouldn't have happened if he hadn't have actually gone and seen this person. He could have spoken on the phone to her 1,000 times or listened to her, write stories about her grandmother and about this relationship, but never would have discovered this actual piece of information without physically being there with her. So it's amazing what you can actually get out of someone if you have that meeting with them. With the 60 seconds, if you get it perfect every time, you'll give a laser-specific request and someone might have a referral or might trigger something that day that you need and they think, I know that person. But if you actually have that one-to-one with someone, you build the relationship, you build the trust and you warm to each other. All of those things don't quite happen listening to the 60 seconds. It's a much more formal and yeah, the gains sheet that we use, I'll get onto that one in a second, actually opens everything up a little bit. So someone might not realize that you had a connection that you do until you've had that, half hour, 1 hour discussion, and then things start to open up. You really have to do the one-to-ones properly though. You have to use these gains sheets, and this is the gains sheet that BNI provides, and it gives a really good breakdown of your business, of you personally, of your contact sphere. And one thing that I found really good in these gain sheets is the last 10 clients, the contact sphere part of it, because people might not realize where you actually get your work from. So when I say, without using names, one of my clients came from this area, someone thought, oh, well, I hadn't actually ever made that connection. And then they start to, open it up and say, well, actually, this would be a great contact for you. The format of the one-to-ones need to be more than a coffee catch-up. The first one, or part of the first one, may look a bit like that because especially if you're a social person and you really want to get to know the person individually before breaking down their business, it might look like that. But of course, the second half of the one-to-one and the second one really needs to be focused on the business. And that's where the actual magic happens, because something that may not have clicked in the first meeting, you're thinking about it, it's in the back of your mind, and it'll definitely click in the second one and it'll just open everything up. There is actually a direct correlation, and this has been said many other times, direct correlation between the amount of one-to-ones you do and the amount of referrals that you can give and the amount of referrals that you'll get, because you start to actually delve into those contact spheres that you know, and you delve into your networks and you start to connect the dots that you won't otherwise do just by the 60 seconds. So start booking them in. I'm available this week.
That's it.